Yeah, I had, I think it was Scaramucci that said your first Bitcoin is the hardest one to buy because, you hem and you haw and that. But once you get that, then you kind of want to keep doing more. And yeah, that's what I do. I get my students to just get the hot wallet, get the whole wallet, buy a little stable coin, finance it on Aave, swap it out to something on Uniswap, put on a liquidity pool and just get to know it. And then I get my students to mint their own NFTs. And, I'll tell you my quick journey with NFTs, Jordan. I became the coolest dad in the world when I gave my daughter an NFT. I'm telling you, and when you're 17-year-olds, it's very hard to be cool. Jordan, I could have given her a Porsche and it wouldn't have been as cool. And this NFT didn't cost me a lot of money, but I gave it to her and I started to see there's this emotional play and this emotional fascination with NFTs. But I like this Wolf of Wall Street game because I talked to a lot of people before we did our NFT release. And I did ours around a live stream broadcast, and I did 100 pieces, and we took 100 documentary photos on the day, and I baked in a piece of our video that was with one of the guests that was banned a couple of years ago. And so when you own one of the 100 NFTs that I gave to my community, you get a piece of 7 minutes of video baked into the NFT, you get an image on the day, and this can never be censored by anybody. And that was my way to test the waters. I minted them all myself. It's on OpenSea, it's on Ethereum. But again, it was trying to add value to our community, not extract value. And so I know exactly what you're thinking because I was thinking, how am I going to do it? I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Now we got our feet wet. And now I think we'll do more things around a live broadcast. Who knows? You and I could do an event in London and a live stream and make an NFT collectible out of it that adds value and gives people membership to the future events. But man, the Wolf of Wall Street game, now you got me. That sounds very
big one.
cool.
That's like, to me, is, that's something like I was approached a few years ago by Unity and Chain Games, I think it was. And at the time they offered me some crazy amount of money up front and they were going to raise a lot of money by selling tokens. And I'm like, no fucking way. I was so negative on crypto. I heard tokens. I ran from the deal. Now I would do it because I didn't understand it back then that if there's, it just was scam. I can't be involved with it. Right. So, but yeah, the Wolf of Wall Street game, here's the thing. So, I have a docuseries that will come out next year, for the Wolf of Wall Street. I own those rights and I'm just about to start shooting it. It'll be on one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world. Right. And that will be a great time to simultaneously release a game. So the idea would be to, launch an initial collection of NFTs. That would be the Genesis NFTs, right? 10,000 of them. And that would sort of ultimately lead into this game that will be in the metaverse and be fucking awesome and cool. And I think it's a really perfect brand match for what my brand represents. And I love the gaming space, by the way. And yes, that sort of stuff makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is I'm going to launch 10,000 NFTs and make $10 million and then say you get to go into my Discord room and you can attend an event once a year and then for a couple of years. I don't know, like there's something about it that just seems fundamentally like really, really awful. It's not going to end well. And it also creates a perception that you're perhaps engaging in work to increase the value of an NFT. And that's a no-no, as you know, in the securities law. That is sort of a do not do, so we'll see, but I will be releasing something at some point.
I'm really glad you brought those points up and you trust in your gut on that, and I couldn't agree with you more. The world doesn't need 10,000 more unique pieces that get you access to a conference. They need something that's creative, that has real long-term value, that really builds a real community. And I've been fascinated with the metaverse. I've had some cool guests on here, the founders of Animoca Brands, and I just had the Immutable X guy here last month. They're the third largest tech company in Australia now, Immutable X, $2.5 billion. They're going to basically NFT everything and make it super cheap to transfer things on their blockchain. So I love it. We got 2 investments in London Real Ventures. One of them's a metaverse play, and it's super exciting. They got 7 books, and I'm like, I used to game as a kid. I'm sure you did too, Jordan. I don't as much now, but the metaverse is cool, and I think the Wolf of Wall Street game, it sounds pretty amazing. And so keep us posted. Jordan, I want to kind of finish with a couple questions, more of your perspective as a dude that's been around and done so many things. I mean, you used to come to the world from the world of sales. You still are a great sales trainer. You connect with people and get that human emotion to get someone to jump on a venture. We don't see that much person-to-person exchange in the crypto space. And I'm wondering what you find interesting about the crypto space. It's a little more removed. It's a little more geeky. It's a little more codey. How do they react to you? And do you think they need some sales training? Do you think the crypto billionaires are as crazy as you used to be in the day, or do they all have a different kind of energy these days?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, there's at a certain point, you just need to be able to communicate and close people on your ideas, that your concepts make sense, that your vision for the future makes sense. Anyone that thinks they can go through life with just awful communication skills, yeah, you could be an engineer and be a complete introvert that doesn't want to talk to anyone. Well, then guess what you'll be? You'll be a Wozniak in desperate need of a jobs. You're going to need that guy that goes out there. So yeah, if you don't want to do that, well, then align yourself with someone that has that skill set. I don't care what line of work you're in, tech, coder. At some point, you're going to need someone to go out there and be the public face, the spokesperson, and also sell investors on your idea, sell employees on coming to work for you. Why does someone come to work for you? Why do the talented coders take a job? The expectation that they'll make a lot of money, that's going to be sold to them. So someone's got to be selling someone something here, or the world doesn't work. So it works for everything. I often get approached for two reasons because I get approached by all the deals, probably a lot of deals that you're getting approached. I get the same deals too, right? I have a great circuit, and I'm typically wanting to do two things. One, use my name, brand, as a way to get credibility for the deal. And I'll do that if I really believe in the deal and the management. And also just advise them on how to scale, on how to grow. And those are the two things that, I love doing, I enjoy doing. And I enjoy listening. Like you, I enjoy training people in crypto. I've never put out a course in crypto, but I'm doing my first mastermind in crypto because I love doing. Yeah, I love doing masterminds. I've done always just general business masterminds, and I end up becoming friends with the people. We end up becoming partners in deals together. So I'm sure you do those as well. So I'm doing my first crypto mastermind next month. There's a conference here. I'm speaking at the crypto conference in Miami. And after that, I'm doing my own mastermind for a couple of days. So that to me is going to be a really fun thing to educate people. I think what you're doing is great with your educational platform, by the way.